inspire, empower. Grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch. No, real women don't. 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 Real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Hey to all you beautiful people. I am going to apologize in advance. I know that I sound nasal, but I'm in the middle of another blitz and I'm going every day in the month of April to get podcast episodes out to you because I feel led to do so. But I'm nasal. I am warring with something. And I'm just going to ask you guys to, please be patient with me. And the funny thing is, considering that I'm warring with this thing that is messing with me, I've just been battling, period, whether it's been my throat, it's been my connections, it's been technology or whatever. It's just been weird. But nevertheless, I'm here. And so tonight's podcast episode is, what are your triggers? Do you know what your triggers or that trigger is? Because let's just face it. As a coach, I deal with 3 things: strategy, mindset, and sales. That's where I'm at. Strategy, mindset, and sales. And I work with women and I see them rise to the occasion, set goals, decide to do things, invest in themselves, go against the norm, raise their prices, do all of these things. But you want to know what happens every single time. Without respect to persons, they get challenged. You show me an entrepreneur who decides to up level and doesn't get challenged, and I am going to tell you that it is a fictitious movie. It's an animation. It isn't real. And we all get tested in some kind of way. I have this new group that I started, and one of the ladies just came in and my heart just went out to her because just as fast as she started progressing, these things came up and she was like, and I knew it was going to happen because every time I take a step forward, it just seems like I get attacked. And I was like, ooh, I know that feeling. And so I want to give you guys some advice and I want you to do some soul searching. And I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked her. What's really going on? Because it's always deeper. Here's my old trigger. So now I got to be careful, right? Because now it just manifests in new ways, but it typically has to do with the same thing. My old trigger used to be my vehicle. I kid you not, every single time before I would have a major influx of sales, I would be challenged in my pricing and raise it. I would have a big event coming up where I could make some money. Something would always happen to my car. And it would seem like just as fast as the bank roll had rolled in and the money in the bank was looking good, something would go wrong with my vehicle. And it's crazy because I would even go live in my groups and be like, you guys won't believe this. And the irony is that my husband is mechanically inclined and can fix almost anything on our vehicle. And I'm not talking shade tree level fix. I mean, like, the man is a genius. He could have been a mechanic if he wanted to, but then something really weird would happen and it would have to be taken to the shop and an exorbitant amount of money would have to be spent. Or it was just something in the beginning that we knew would have to be done. And I would always be like, man, why do I always get tested with my vehicle before this thing happens? And so what I had to do is I had to really dig deep and see what was really happening with me. And it was always something deeper. And that something deeper for me, it lied in my finances. I am naturally the kind of woman who likes to be in control. I mean, I've loosened up a lot because being an entrepreneur and being a mom to two toddlers, a teenager and an adult, will definitely make you change. But I'm the kind of person who, in my closet, I like the t-shirts hung up, the jeans hung up, the dresses, and I like everything separated, long sleeve versus short sleeves. I like everything hung up. I like clothes washed, dried, ironed, and folded and put up all in one day. I love for things to stay tidy. That is what August likes. I like control. I'm the same way with my finances. I know that there's a bill that comes every month that's $190.81. I know down to the penny. I know down to the day when certain transactions are coming. I know when my clients' pay dates are because I'm a numbers person and because I have a calendar in front of me. I just know that I know that I know. And so every time I would get ready to have a growth spurt, something that was not in my control with my finances would always pop up, and it would always pop up through my vehicle. And I realized that the vehicle was a symbol of movement, because what do we use a vehicle for? To get from one destination to another. It's about moving forward. And I would always feel like I was moving backwards, and I would develop a level of anxiety, regardless of how small or how big it was, about my finances. And so in reshaping my mindset, I had to deal with what was the real issue behind that money. What was I really thinking? What was I really feeling? What was stirring up for me? Was I going to abandon my business and go get a job? Was I going to quit? Was I going to walk backwards and lessen those prices? What was I going to do? Was I going to stand? Was I going to believe? Was I going to relax? Was I going to let the universe do what it does? Or was I going to have to be in control? And you guys hear it all the time. You say it all the time, that real growth happens outside of your comfort zone. And so many of you that listen to me, listen, I get it. You are heart-centered entrepreneurs. You really do love serving people. You know that the call and the passion that is on your life, it's different. You know, a lot of you have Christian background. Even though it's your business, you see the ministerial aspect in what you do. And so you got to really understand that there's a level of strength and fortitude, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually, that you have to exude in order to carry other people that are going to follow you. And you have to have a fortified mindset. And the only way to do that is to recognize what the triggers are. And when you get to a place where you're like, you know what, that doesn't matter anymore, then all of a sudden what ends up happening is that they don't have the same effect. And I'll never forget when I realized that I had graduated in my thinking and in allowing the universe to work things out. Right before my family and I moved down to Atlanta, something happened with the vehicle. We found out that the Cadillac converter needed to be replaced. Now I have a 2016 Jeep Cherokee. And I'm like, excuse me? The Cadillac converter needs to be replaced? But we found out, because of the mechanic that looked at the vehicle, that a law had been passed. And if a vehicle was like under, I can't remember if it's like 50 or 80,000 miles, it was a certain age, that by law, if the Cadillac converter went out, it had to be replaced for free. And even though there's certain diagnostic fees and taxes that could have been charged by the dealership, they were like, we are not going to charge you anything. But we found this out literally within less than a week before we were going to move. And when I found out and I'm looking at the money, I actually was just like, you know what? It's going to work itself out, or it just means we're supposed to move at a different date. I believe because I received a date in my spirit of when we were supposed to leave, which was December the 1st. And I set my heart to that. And then we got that information. And so it's really It's really scary sometimes and it's really chaotic to release, but you have to understand you have to produce. You need to have a strong work ethic. You have to be visible. You have to get out there and put your name out there. You need to do work, but you also need to realize that when you've done all that you can, that is when you rest and reside in the miracle. That is when you expect something to change that is outside of your control. What are your triggers and what's really behind that trigger? How are you supposed to be reshaped in your mind? Is it anxiousness? Is it depression? Is it doubt? Is it fear? What's really rising up and what does it really mean so that you can stop looking at the lie and reverse your language and reverse your thoughts so that you can tell yourself the truth. This is one of those, hey, make you think for a second level podcast episodes. I'm just going to encourage you to run with that. You know where to find me on any of the platforms. You can make comments. I'll respond to them. But I would love to hear your feedback and what rises up for you. And what changes have you decided to make to get past those things? And just know that at the end of the day, this is what I do and it's what I specialize in. I specialize in strategy, mindset, and sales. Strategy, mindset, and sales. If you need help with this, you already know where to find me. Reach out to me. I'm wishing you guys all the best. This is your nugget in less than 10. It's your girl, August Crenshaw. I'm outie.
Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in